Okay, so this will be just a short tutorial on how to do it with the scroll wheel. So you can see I'm just keeping my controller in my pinky finger like this, so it works. I'll also hide this, so of course I can climb on. Now I can walk. I can walk also backwards, but very difficult. It's super difficult to walk backwards. But yeah, you can walk backwards, forward, like this. So now I'll exit the game. I don't know if it will work to go back, but I will just exit for now the game. So this is the setup. This is treadmill, normal treadmill, no secrets. The only difference is the mouse, instead of being placed like this on the treadmill, it's not a special mouse, although it might look like it's just a bit destroyed. It's a small mouse with the scroll wheel very exposed. I think you can see it's very exposed, and the buttons were removed, but it's not necessary. If you have a mouse that has the scroll wheel very exposed, you don't need to destroy it. And also, this is a particular mouse, has the back plate is aluminium, but again, it's not necessary. But what I did, I've connected the back plate, the bottom plate, which was on aluminium, but also you can use the screw holes of any other mouse to aluminium plate. You can see what type of aluminium plate. It's just a garbage aluminium plate, and the idea is you can then bend it to your needs, and then just to have it, of course you can just glue it or tape it. It's no problem, but it will be a problem because it's unstable. This is you make it very stable. It looks like a product, but it's not. So it's just a mouse with a aluminium plate bolted in, and then the aluminium plate is bolted to a plastic, wood, doesn't matter, something with a shape like this or any other shape, even directly one magnet. But I've placed two strong magnets, so it's stable. So the idea is I'm putting it on the frame, and then I just push until it contacts the wheel. And the idea is not to make click on the middle click, but it doesn't matter. So now you can see on this graph, the white graph, that if I'm pushing, it moves. It says a VJoy device, y-axis. This is a representation of a joystick axis, and you can tweak speeds, everything. You can go both ways, and when it stops, it returns to center. This is another important feature. You can work also with the mouse with the sensor, but this is very important feature because now it can stop. There are some spikes because it's not very well tweaked, but normally it just goes to one side and then returns to center. And this is the stop. And it works just the same. It's connected to an Xbox controller, which is this one. So you can see it. If I'm moving, I hope you can see it. So if I'm moving it like this, so you can see the stick is moving and then returns to center. Moves and then returns to center. Moves, returns to center. This is the idea. So the spikes, I think, are hardware. The scroll wheel has some problems, but it normally just goes and returns to center. Like this. Anyway, so this is the Xbox 360C emulator, and it's made to connect to a VJoy device. So the only device that is added is a VJoy device. VJoy is a software that you can use for free, and I created only one device. You can create 100, but whatever, but you need just one device of VGA, and that device you can configure it to have buttons like a normal joystick, but it's configured to have only one axis. Y meaning the Y letter. So or you can use X, it doesn't matter, but what I mean is you can configure it to absolute minimum, just one axis, no buttons, no nothing. You have no other confusions with the with other software. The idea is you have the script, which is this thing or this text. The whole script is this from top to bottom. Where you see green, that's comments from the AI DeepSeek. So it's a lot shorter than this. It's a Python script that analyzes a scroll wheel from a mouse. This is a wireless mouse, and then it transforms via this script. You can just so I can turn it on and off with caps lock. You see, deactivated. It says deactivated now, activated, and so on. So I can also turn it off by pressing Ctrl C, and it will turn itself off completely. And what it does is just analyzing the scroll wheel and transforms the up and down on the scroll wheel on a VGA axis. And then the virtual Xbox controller takes that VGA axis and transforms it into that joystick up and down movement of the virtual controller. And then the SteamVR picks up the controller, the virtual Xbox controller, because SteamVR cannot work with the normal joystick axis. If it would have worked, then no need for the Xbox emulator and so on. And then the Xbox controller also appears here. I don't know if on the recording shows up. At first it shows up in the same colors, like bluish colors, blue-green, but now it's almost dark. I don't know for whatever reason, it just turns dark and you cannot see it anymore, but it's active, and it's a bit of a struggle to make it work. But once it works normally. So you just connect and you are in. On Alex, Half-Life Alex, I cannot make it, so no gamepad controller is accepted. I don't know for whatever reason. So I will post the script in the comments or in the description. I hope it works. I pasted it on Pastebin, but they banned my account for it for some crazy reason. This is made with deepseek again, so it's not really complex. It's not like a complex code that maybe deepseek stolen for something. And as requirements, beside the working mouse with the scroll wheel and so on, and the ability to install the Xbox emulator and the VGA controller, you just need the script, and the script being Python, you need to install Python. And so to install Python, you just turn a command prompt window, and you'll enter some commands like install Python. Then the Windows will go install Python, and then install some necessary libraries, like 3 or 4 libraries, because these Python scripts uses some libraries of Python to actually connect to a VGA, to actually connect to a mouse, and so on. So it's all explained in the comments of the script. And then you just run the script. However, I have a shortcut to a bat file, but you can just run it in command prompt, is no problem. And then somebody can actually make the script, can be made as an exe, as an executable, so it will contain the Python and so on, but I didn't bother to do it. So you can create like a small executable that contains everything. So you just double click it, starts, and it listens. So this way you don't need any other program, especially payware program. So you can do it all in your house. Now initially I thought to do this on the flywheel, because each treadmill has flywheels, so you can put it on the flywheels and you can put it, but of course the flywheel is way bigger than the scroll wheel and it will accelerate faster, so basically you will be always running, something like that. So this is a small problem. So let me try to see if I can return to the game. So now it works again, and now I will try to return to game, and let's see if it because I had some problems yesterday with the Wi-Fi, so yeah, so it works again. But sometimes this type of connection, Wi-Fi connection I have, crashes when I overcharge, let's say like that, the Wi-Fi. So if I'm going to pass through, I can lose connection with the virtual desktop. So then it's a complex thing to restart the game. So you can see you can tune it. You can tune the stop. The script contains. It's difficult to see on the video, but just at the top of the script you see some parameters you can modify. It's sensitivity, how fast it should, how fast when you stop walking it should stop walking, and then how fast the stopping is done. So ignore her. So you just walk, and when you stop there is a speed to detect the stops, like a few milliseconds to detect the stop, and then it will stop in a certain speed. And there is also beside the sensitivity there is also settings for I can't remember now the name of the, so it's to make to remove any spikes. You saw some spikes in the axis, so those are removed by that setting. So the axis could spike up and down, but it's like a curve on sensitivity. I just have a black memory hole, so I can't remember the name of the settings, but you will see it, and also it's explained. So it will just make the movement smoother. It's a smoothing parameter. However, if you increase that smoothing, then the smoothing is okay, but then the stopping and the accelerating, it will not be so prompt, so you will feel it sluggish if it's too big. Okay, so that is the way I did it, but as I said, I cannot do it in Alex, so it's not working actually. Anyway, that's it.